to this program. Actually, I can't deny if a request comes from Madam's side because we have been now working together for several years. So also, Madam has given me a lot of opportunities at Jadavpur. So I think this is another opportunity to join your program and also to contribute your effort to popularize the Buddhist teachings or Buddhist studies among the interest groups in India. So today, actually, I'm trying to introduce that how Buddhism came to Sri Lanka and the early period in Sri Lanka, and how it was rooted in this soil. Uh, and because I have been assigned with two lectures, so in the next lecture, I'm thinking to explain the relation Buddhism, Sri Lankan Buddhism, and other countries. But today is only about Sri Lanka, how Sri Lanka was transformed into a Buddhist land over several centuries. We know that the geographical situation. If we try to begin with the pre-Buddhist Sri Lanka, we know that when we study actually Sri Lankan Buddhism, uh, two Sri Lankan chronicles, especially the Mahavansa and the Deepavansa, are very useful for us. Apart from that, of course, there are so many sources within the Buddhist literature, both in India and in Sri Lanka and abroad. This actually Buddhist texts have set up the background uh, for Buddhism and to make it a rightful religion in the country. So, starting from the story of the Vijaya, arrival of the Prince Vijaya, uh, then onwards, there were some exchanges between Sri Lanka and India. So these all, I think, contributed to uh, form a kind of suitable background to flourish for later arrival of Buddhism in the country. And then, of course, the Buddhist monks, they played a very important role in the country to propagate. And we can see that within 2-3 centuries, that Buddhism totally got its root in this land, and it became the state religion of the country. And till today, of course, Buddhism is treated as the state religion in Sri Lanka. So these early works of Buddhist monks and the way that it was familiarized with the people is a interesting and it's insightful story to study how this small land became a stronghold for Buddhism. We know that before going to the slides, if we understand the nature of the country, we know that Sri Lanka is a very small island. If we compare to the lands like big continent like India, Sri Lanka is a very, very tiny place. But uh, the way that the early Buddhist missionaries introduced Buddhism, and how the later generations continued protecting, propagation, and promotion of the teaching in the country, had turned this place a very strong place. And we can see that many Buddhist countries have they owe something to Sri Lanka. They have got uh, support from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has served as the source to learn about, especially the Theravada Buddhism. Theravada Buddhism, and Sri Lanka contributed in many ways to preserve the early Buddhist teachings. That is the most important thing. And then till today, Sri Lanka remains still, uh, uh, even though we faced a lot of challenges over the history. Uh, First, actually, that Indian invasions that came time to time. There are records how these affected Buddhism in the country, and then later Western powers, etc. But despite all these challenges, the Sri Lankan people, very small population, still could protect this message of the Sakyamuni Buddha in this land. And not only protect, they still enjoy some prominent place in the Buddhist world. That's how this happened is actually a story we have to examine from a different angle, but we have not talked about it here. So then, according to the Sri Lankan chronicles, Mahavans, Deepavans, etc., that Vijaya, the Indian prince, came to Sri Lanka on the day when the Buddha was passed away, 543 BC. This is the general agreement. And then we know that he came to Sri Lanka, and it is said that the Sinhalese people now in Sri Lanka, four major communities: Sinhalese, Tamil, uh, Islam, or Muslim, and Burgher, actually, and Malay also. Five ethnicities, but mainly four. So then Sinhalese have been the major population in the country for the last 2 millennia, or over 2 millennia. So then the beginning is traced to Prince Asoka, Prince Vijaya. That is the that starts, and it is said that this. I think the Buddha asked Vishnu, the god, to protect Vijaya and his companions. That is legendary history. Before Vijaya's arrival, it is said that Yakas and Nagas, two tribes, inhabited the country, and so then this arrival of Vijaya took place, and so from Vijaya it is said that because Vijaya's mother and father, Singha Bahu and Singha Sivali, they were Singha, they're coming from the lion. So then Sinhalese, then this prince Vijaya married a Sri Lankan princess who was ruling at that time. She's Yak tribe leader, and then I think he got legitimacy for uh, his kingship in the country by marrying Kuweni, this local princess. And then this gave to, then at that time the country was known as Tambapani. And another important thing is that that Buddha's visit to Sri Lanka, then according to traditional view and commentarial tradition and chronicles of the country, uh, record that Buddha visited 3 times to Sri Lanka. There are disagreements because it is not mentioned anywhere in the Pali Canon. Pali Canon, it is not mentioned. So there are some contentions about this, the Buddha's visit to Sri Lanka. But Sri Lankan scholars like Adhikaram argues that this commentarial literature, which is very old, uh, as it shows these visits of the Buddha himself to the country, we have to believe or we can't deny. Uh, then in the Mahavansa, it records that the first visit of the Buddha uh, took place after 9 months from his enlightenment, means 528 BC. So then it explains that in the place called Mahiyangana, which is in the just below the middle part of the country. Actually, my hometown is close to this Mahiyangana place. That is plain land. That is the beginning of plain land in the country, because mid country is mountainous. So then at the end of the mountain uh, land, mountainous land, this flat land starts. So then Mahiyangana is just beginning of the flat lands and very fertile place, because it's near the Mahiyangana. There is the main river in Sri Lanka, Mahaveli River, flows over there. So there it is said that there was some conflict between the Yakas, Yaka tribe. So then Buddha wanted to stop this, and Buddha visited that place and then pacified there, and they stop their uh, problem, and that is the first visit. And then another second visit was in the 5th year of the, and after the enlightenment. That was another event, that is an issue between two brothers, Naga leaders, Chulodara and Mahodara, because of some that chair, chair made of gem, or made how to say, gem chair. There had been in the Nagadeep. What that place nowadays, normally we believe that is Jaffna, that is the Jaffna area. So then Buddha came to settle their issue for the second time, and third time to Kalaniya, which is near Colombo. Kalaniya on the 8th year after the attaining Buddhahood. So then this also gives some idea that the relation of the country to Buddhism, even though it is not the official beginning of Buddhism in the country, but it should be actually the Buddha's message had reached the country even before Mahinda's arrival, but Mahinda's arrival is the official one. And before Mahinda's arrival, there had taken place some interactions between Indian missions, Indian missions had visited, come to Sri Lanka. One of notable is that Vijaya's nephew, I think that Panduvasadeva, after the Vijay, because Vijay had no children, uh, his brother Sumitra's son, Panduvasadeva, was consecrated. Vijay's son had no children means it is said that Kueni had two children from Vijaya, but he did not accept them, and later there was conflict between Kueni and uh, Vijaya, so Kueni and children were chased away. So there was no claimant to the throne. So then he invited his Indian origin. Sumit was his brother in India, son, to come to Sri Lanka and become the successor. So then Panduvasadeva's his successor was King Pandukabaya. Pandukabe developed Anuradhapura systematically. We know that in Sri Lankan history, Pandukabe is very important figure because it is said that he developed the Anuradhapura city systematically. And then Pandukabe's son, Muttasiva, ruled for several years. According to Mahavans, the Arahant Mahinda did not visit Lanka until Muttasiva was ruling. After Muttasiva's son was Devanambiyatissa. He ruled from BC 250 to 210, 40 years, was crowned as the monarch of the country. So this is the period that Buddhism came in this period. Then what we can see, what we believe is at that time no one major religion in the country. That was a kind of benefit for Buddhism to flourish all over the country as the state religion. So that is until the introduction of Buddhism, there was no state religion in Sri Lanka, and we can see that different beliefs had existed, religious beliefs in the country, like worshipping the yakas, and then there are information in the chronicles that Pandukabe had. Actually, Pandukabe is related to many previous beliefs. He has worshipped these yakas, yakinis, female devils. Here, Chittaraja Kalavela, there are some generals. Later, they became devils after the death. King Pandukabe has housed the Yakini Valavamukhi within the royal presence. And tree, we know that it is very common. And so Brahmanism also, and we know that some Brahmins had lived in the country, is accepted truth. And then it's reference to Soktisala, then Nigantas, and then because of this reference, Buddhism also might exist. At least people had been knowing about Buddhism before Mahinda's arrival. So then we know that in the 3rd century BC, nearly 250, in that year, Buddhism was officially introduced to Sri Lanka. So about this, one of the Sri Lankan outstanding scholar like Walpola Rahula, who is already passed away now, the idea is also that actually even before Mahinda's arrival, Sri Lanka should have been familiar with this Buddha's teaching. It's not reasonable to believe that information about the Buddha and his teachings and the news of great activities of the mighty Buddhist Emperor of India had not reached the island earlier. So the story of the Mahinda, we know that the Asoka's son, Mahinda, that the Arahant Mahinda. We call the Arahant Mahinda, and in Sri Lanka, uh, the custom is that all the 12 full moon days are related to Buddhist events or to the Buddha's uh, life. And then the June, Jettamasa. June is dedicated to commemorate the arrival of uh, Arhant Mahinda to Sri Lanka, and he is considered or he is venerated as the second Buddha to Sri Lanka. Anubuddha, we use the word Anubuddha. Because he is the one formally brought Buddhism to the country and popularized in the country. The Arahant mind came, and it is said that he came with four other monks. Their names is that Uttiya, Sambala, and Badasala, and a novice monk, a Samanera, Sumana Samanera, and Bandu Upasaka, a lay disciple. It means there's altogether seven people. We know that Emperor Asoka and the Arahant Moggaliputta Tissa. They worked to send away missions out of India or into nine places. So then Sri Lanka is one. So then Mahinda, the son of the King Emperor, reached here with his companions. Then Arahant Mahinda and the party arrived on the rock called Mihintale. Then it is said that no information how they crossed the sea or how they traveled to Sri Lanka. It is not mentioned. Somehow, story starts that they reach, they meet the Sri Lankan ruler, King Devanampiya Tissa, at Anuradhapura, near Anuradhapura, a place called Mihintale nowadays. Missaka Pabbata. Pabbata, we know that it's the rock. So Missaka Pabbata, now we call Mihintale, maybe 12 or 8 kilometers away from the Anuradhapura city. So at that place, they met for the first time. Situated about 12 kilometers away from the then capital city of Anuradhapura on full moon day of June. The day being a national holiday, King Devanampetis was on a hunting expedition to Mihintale, accompanied by an entourage of 40,000 people. So then this is considered as what kind of culture was here. But at that time, it is king was on hunting. He's going enjoying the how to say hunting in the full moon day. But full moon day now is totally a different day. It is totally prohibited in the country to sell meat and alcohol, etc. But here we can see, I think this is also kind of change what from the culture which was before Buddhism came and after Buddhism, what appeared here, what happened to the country. While chasing after a deer, the king came across the party of shaven-headed monks in yellow robes, quite unexpected, and was taken aback when he was addressed by Arahant Mahinda by his name. And the king asked who they were. Arahant Mahinda responded by saying, so then the story is very dramatic. Means the king and Mahinda, Arahant Mahinda called by the king's name. Tissa, he called, stop. So then who they asked to address the king by his name. So then this verse is very famous in the country. Samanamayang Maharaja Dhammarajasa Savaka Taveva Anukampaya Jambudipa Idagata. O king, we are the adherents of the enlightened one, or the Buddha who has revealed the noble path to the total liberation and have visited you from Dabadiva through compassion. So Jambudipa Idagata. We came here with compassion for you. We are the disciples of the Buddha. This is the uh, depiction or picture of the meeting between the king and the Arahant Mahinda and his companion. So this is actually in June. Full Moon Day is a big celebration all over the country. This is normally created to memorize or to commemorate this event in many temples and in other places. Uh, the kings, you can see here his arrows and bows, means he was on hunting. So here, having established that the king was wise enough to understand the Buddha's teaching, Aran Mahind delivered the Jullahati Padopama Sutta, the shorter discourse on the simile of the elephant's footprint from the middle length discourses of the Buddha. This is the discourse that which describes about Four Noble Truths in this sutta. That is the first teaching. This is the photo, image of King Devanampiya. The Buddha had presented the essence of the teaching, describing the journey of a disciple from the lay life to monastic life and the cultivation of morality. So then, after that, the Banduk Upasaka was ordained by Arahant Mind on the Misaka rock, which was the first ordination of a Buddhist monk following Arahant Mahinda's visit to Sri Lanka. King invited Arahant Mahind and the party to visit the capital city of Anuradhapura the next day for a royal reception and to deliver more teachings of the Buddha. So you can see that the continuation. So King was converted to Buddhism. King accepted Buddha's message and he invited the mission to the royal palace. So then this first ordination of Buddhist monk carried out by Arahant Mahinda since his visit to Sri Lanka was that of Banduka, who had travelled with Arahant Mahinda from India. The first Sri Lankans to be ordained as Buddhist monks were Maha Arit and 55 others who are known to have been his brothers. So then Maha Arit is the Sri Lankan citizen to become, and his people, 50 persons, they were the first group to become bhikkhus in this island. So then here is interesting thing that one day the king asked Arahant Mahinda whether the order of Buddhist monks had been firmly established in Sri Lanka. So then the king was informed that it would happen only when a monk born in Sri Lanka to Sri Lankan parents was able to learn the code of monastic discipline, Vinay, formulated by the Buddha and recite it. So then, having done everything, whether Buddhism really got established in the country was the question. So then that Arahant Mahinda's answer that a Sri Lankan citizen born to Sri Lankan parent after becoming a monk should be able to recite the Vinaya. Then only we can confirm that Buddhism is established in the country. So then here it is said that there was a convention and meeting of the monks, and then the Arit recited the Vinaya. So then it was confirmed that now Sri Lankan lineage, Buddhist monks' lineage can continue, and Buddhism is firmly rooted in the country. And then another important thing is little later, uh, with the with that Bhikkhuni order also formed or initiated in the country. It's because that Queen Anula and the 500 companions who attained extreme entry, we know that Sotapanna, the first stage of the attainment is in the spiritual path. Listening to the sermons by Arahant Mahendra, requested to be ordained as Buddhist nuns. Then this led to invite Sanghamitta, the daughter of King Emperor Asoka and the sister of Venerable Arahant Mahinda, because male monks alone cannot give the higher ordination for a nun. So then she was invited, Sanghamitta arrived, and then she ordained the Sri Lankan women. And then it initiated the Sri Lankan nuns order in the country within the period of Anuradha Mahinda's lifetime itself. And one of the important event and very influential thing with the arrival of Sanghamitta was bringing the Bodhi tree to the country. Aran Sanghamitta also brought a sapling of the sacred Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, under which Lord Gautama Buddha gained enlightenment as Samma Sambuddha. The sapling was planted by the King Devanampitis, in the Mahamega garden in Anuradhapura. We know that in Sri Lanka nowadays we accept two very important Buddhist symbols. One is this Bodhi tree in Anuradhapura, and the other is that the tooth relic in Kandy. These are very important Buddhist symbols in the country. The protection of them is necessary by any king or a ruler who comes to power in the country. And this is how that arrival of Sanghamitta, you can see that Bodhi tree is brought here. This is so then this special the king arranged build a special monastery Anuradhapura Arahant Sanghamitta and other nuns to reside, where she had resided until her passing away at the age of 79. Many of Sri Lankan women from different parts of the country also ordained, and for a few centuries there had been a flourishing order of nuns. But now it is no official nuns order in the country. It is recorded in the Buddhist literature that in the 5th century AD, a group of Sri Lankan nuns headed by Bhikkhuni Devasara Tisara visited China to ordain women and established the order of Buddhist nuns in China. So, and until 12th century AD, it is believed that nuns order existed in the country, and then it went extinct. So after 2 centuries or 3 centuries of the establishment of Buddhism in the country, so gradually Buddhism started to evolve in the country. One of the important things is that a rising of the Nikayas. We know that in Sri Lanka, 3 Nikayas developed local Buddhist traditions. One is the Mahavihara, and the second is the Abhayagiri, and the third is the Jetavana. So then Mahavihar, still nowadays, we all believe that we all come from, Mahavihar tradition. Even though historical Mahavihar is no more available, but our lineage is traced to Mahavihara tradition in the country. So with this, actually the arising of the Nikayas, different sects in the country, led to improve, uh, led to develop Buddhist teachings and interpretations, etc., inside the country. And also, it was a cause that attracted foreign Buddhist missions or Buddhist researchers, monks, etc., to the country in the ancient time. Because of the time factor, I'm sorry, I have prepared a lot of slides, but time is only 1 hour. No? That is very difficult. Uh, Reverend Pondaloko, yeah. If you need, you can take another day class. No, madam, I can't. So instead of 2 classes, 2 days, you can take 3 classes, no problem. So you can follow the slides, and because it is really interesting, no? Madam, because of my other activities, I can't take 3 classes. Oh, maybe I can continue the same class next week also. Okay, okay, no problem. Yes, that will be helpful. I will improve more, and maybe we can. Okay. Otherwise, I because I am, you know, ma'am, I am on the sabbatical leave now. I'm not working actually these days, but as I can't deny your request, I accepted this. Are you going to Vietnam? No, ma'am. My paper was selected for publication, but I was. They said no air tickets, etc. Oh, okay. Yes. Later, then okay, we go to details. Rising of these three Nikayas. This in the long history of Sri Lankan Buddhism, there were three Buddhist schools: Mahavihara, Abhayagiri, and Jetavana. If we go to the Mahavihara, Mahavihara is considered as the stronghold of Theravada Buddhism. And then Abhayagiri, of course, all these were Theravada, but Abhayagiri, especially the Abhayagiri, was much open, and how to say that it had received the influence of other countries, maybe especially the Mahayana tradition, etc. So it was more broader, I think, perspective they adopted, even though they remained faithful to Theravada tradition, but they became much open group or a sect in the country. The Mahavihara, of course, there was some how to say that. Competition between these two, especially these two schools, Abhayagiri and Mahavihara. This in the history that we can see that by the 5th century, we will go to that. Buddhaghosa visited the Mahavihara. And then, but before that, some Chinese masters had visited Abhayagiri, and they had lived even in Abhayagiri. So both these places had functioned in the ancient times as the centers of Buddhist studies. That is the important thing. The first and so then Mahavihara. The second school is the Abhayagiri. And it was a breakaway fraction of the Mahavihara and established in the 1st century BC by Mahati Satera, that how to say, the founder. And the last school is the Jetavana, Sagalika, which was an offshoot of the Abhayagiri. It was established in the 3rd century of Amanira by Usiliyati Satera. After Vattagamini Abhaya, 103 BC and 89 to 77 BC, because 2 times he ruled. First first time he was dethroned due to foreign invasions, and then second time he ruled the country, regained the throne. He demolished the monastery of Niganta, Jaina ascetic, because this Jaina ascetic, I think, he said that he mocked when the king was escaping from the enemies. So then he came back and destroyed the Niganta temple. And Giri, for having mocked him when he was fleeing, he built a Buddhist monastery called the Abhayagiri Vihar or Rift, which he presented to a monk named Uppikkala Mahathissa, who had helped the king in his exile. Later, the monks of the Mahavihar imposed punishment of expulsion on Tissa on the charge of improper contact with the lay families. Somehow, because this Venerable Mahathissa had close contact with the king, it was not accepted by the Mahavihar tradition. So then he was expelled from the Mahavihar. So then Tissa's pupil Bahalamasu Tissa, who resented the punishment imposed upon his teacher, was likewise expelled from the Mahavihar. He then went away with the following of 500 monks and lived at Abhayagiri Vihar, refusing to return to the Mahavihar. So then this is the beginning of the second Vihar in the country, Abhayagiri Vihar. The actual schism occurred only when two monks of the Vajraputta sect in India came to Sri Lanka and were received at the Abhayagiri. Not long after Tissa and his followers occupied that monastery, he said that Vajraputta monks came to Sri Lanka. That is maybe Vajraputtas are they kind of tantric monks, ma'am? No. Okay.
They belong to the Theravada tradition, but they have some different views regarding the world, as also regarding the practice of the Vinayas and other things.
Mm-hmm. Tissa and his followers, like the new monks,
yes,
their doctrine.
So these Vajraputyas, they were somehow responsible for the division of Buddhism into different, first into the two schools and then into several schools.
Yeah. So then it means, I now I got it. Henceforth, they came to be known as the Dhammaruchi sect, after the name of the great Indian monk who was the teacher of the newcomers to Abhayagiri. So then Abhayagiri, it means Abhayagiri originally had no much difference, even though they lived together differently in Mahavihara and Abhayagiri, but Vajraputtaka ideas, because Puttakas, we know that even I think in the Buddha's time that Vajji monks were little liberal group. So then I think they evolved into a big group, and then as Madam explained. Then another important event we consider for Sri Lankan Buddhism is the writing of the books in the palm leaves. So this is took place during the Vattagamini Abhaya. It means in the 1st century AD. So it is stated in the early chronicles that after the acceptance of Buddhism by the people in Lanka, a council was held under Mahinda Thera, where all the leading Theras were present, and the teachings were recited and authoritatively laid down, as was done in the third convocation held in India under the declaration of the Emperor Asoka. Okay, that is the Vinaya recitation. Theravada was established in Sri Lanka. And then similar.
This is the fourth Buddhist council.
Yes, and then the writing down the Buddha's teaching is considered as there was a famine in the country. We call Baminitia Saya, but I don't know the Pali word, but we call Baminitia Saya. Means Saya means Sagat, that is the famine. So during the famine that broke out in the time of King Vattagamini Abhaya, a great strain was put on the continuance of this form of preserving the teachings of the Tripitaka. We know that it is said that until the texts or the teachings were written down, Buddhism maintained the Buddha's teaching through as an oral tradition. So oral tradition, learning by heart was the only way to preserve the teachings. So it was challenged and it was threatened for the continuity of the teaching because of this famine. During the famine, it is said many monks who preserved the teachings were dead. So then some teachings lost. So then after the famine was over, the monks, and during that period, I think maybe even in Indian sources it is mentioned, monk went to India for survival, and then after that, in the Sri Lankan chronicles as well as some other Buddhist sources in Sri Lankan Buddhist texts, it is mentioned that different stories are there. Uh, that during this famine, the monks and nuns both had traveled to India for survival, and then after that they came and they okay, finally they decided to write down to preserve the Buddha's teaching. This is very important place, and took the first the members of the order. It means after the famine was over and they came back to the country. So then they assembled at the Mahavihara at Anuradhapura, took counsel together, and with the permission and encouragement of the king, a convocation was held. The teachings were recited, and the scribes were engaged to commit to writing on palm leaves the Pali canonical text, Tripitaka, consisting of Vinaya Sutta and Abhidhamma, and the Sinhalese commentaries. During this time, there were Sinhalese commentaries. So then all were written in the on the palm leaves. It was that place is called Aloka Vihara. Uh, this place where this reciting and writing down took place. Alok Vihar is, madam, near from Kandy. Maybe it will take half an hour or 1 hour distance, that place, next to Kandy. That place is called Alok Vihar. So this is also, I think, some great contribution to Buddhism that Sri Lanka did, preserve the Buddha's teaching, writing down the texts to preserve. Uh, so then another event in the Sri Lankan history which has influenced in the in how to say that, in developing a Buddhist culture in the country in every aspect. It means that tooth relic, the arrival of the sacred tooth relic from India, and it became the duty of the ancient times. One who becomes or one who wants to become the ruler of the country, he must possess the tooth relic. Then only he becomes the legitimate ruler of the country. Otherwise, he is not considered as a legitimate ruler of the country. And with next to the near the palace, they had built tooth relic temples. When the in Anuradhapura, we can see major three kings had built three tooth relic temples when they came into power. So uh, even the British invaded the country. It was their duty to protect the tooth relic. It is very influential sacred object in the country. This is the second one, Bodhi tree and the tooth relic temple. An important event in the early history of Buddhism in Sri Lanka is the arrival of Buddha's tooth relic, the left eye tooth from India, uh, about 311 AD, during the time of King Siri Meghavarna, son of the king, son and successor of King Mahasena. Ever since this sacred tooth relic was received in Sri Lanka, it has been a national treasure of great value and tangible token of the attainment of the Sinhalese to the doctrine of the blessed Tathagata. So this is very, very important cultural and religious object in the country, and its value, nobody value is very much thing. It means a lot for the country, and it has shaped a kind of culture uh, based on the tooth relic and based on Bodhi tree. There are cultures in the country that developed in the country. Now that Bodhi tree finally became part of every village. It means at ancient times, every village got a temple. So then a temple is made up of three objects. One is the Bodhi tree, second is the pagoda, Chaitya or Chaitya, and then the shrine room, Buddha's image and the worshipping place. So then Bodhi tree became very important, and everywhere, every village has a temple, and every temple has a Bodhi tree. So like that. So then the relic became at the higher level, tooth relic especially. Okay, of course, different relics are there later, Arahant's relics, etc. But the tooth relic became the symbol of kingship. If that is it means the political level, state level object. It determines the governmental legitimacy. This is the bringing that tooth relic by Danta, Prince Danta and Hemamala. So then from the Kalinga. Kalinga is nowadays Orissa, isn't it, madam?
Yes.
Yes. Recently, I went to
Oh.
Puri, and but yeah, I visited three places: Udayagiri, or I don't know.
The Dhabalgiri.
Dhavalgiri, yeah,
Dhabalgiri, then Udayagiri, and this and the Japanese temple there, peace pagoda or
China temple is different. Three how to say diamond triangle, that Dhavalagiri, Udayagiri, Ratnagiri, and the Lalitagiri. Yeah, these three places. So
have you seen the rock edict of Emperor Ashoka?
No, because that
it is on the way to the Dhavalgiri.
Dhavalagiri, I see. I could see that. That three places little late, madam. 6th century onwards. That where Tantric Buddhism developed. Yes. Somehow this Orissa
Yes.
and Kalinga has close relation to Sri Lanka. Even Mahinda's mother, I think, from Orissa, Vidisa Devi. Yeah, yeah. King Sri Meghavarna held a great festival for the tooth relic and decreed it that it should be brought every year to the Abhayagiri Vihar and the same ceremonial should be observed. Today it is enshrined in golden caskets in the temple of the Tooth Relic, Dalda Maligaon. Nowadays, madam, there is exhibition for it is open for public to worship in Kandy, which has become the center of pilgrims from all over the island and from Buddhist lands everywhere. This is the place inside. It is that Tooth Relic. This is the Tooth Relic temple, very beautiful in Kandy.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
Yeah. So then next important event is that Buddhaghosa, 5th century AD, and compilation of Pali commentaries. Madam, as you said that only 1 hour. Now I have completed 1 hour.
Okay. So I think if the students have any question, they can ask you. They can ask.
Yeah, next from maybe next week we will start from this Buddhaghosa's compilation of
Yes. And I think that not only with regard to the ancient Buddhism, but for the revival of Buddhism in the modern days, Sri Lanka has an important role to play because it was Rhys Davids, though he was a British, but he did find the Pali Tipitakas in Sri Lanka. And while he was there, he restored them, and afterwards he took them to England, and from London these texts were published. But unless these texts were restored from Sri Lanka, we could not have any idea about the Theravada Buddhism
in the world.
This is
another important figure. Actually, I do not study much about him. Anagarika Dharmapala.
Yes. Anagarika Dharmapala. That is for the establishment of the Mahabodhi temple.
Actually, Mahabodhi temple is only in India, but according to
Mahabodhi temple, the head office is in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, but it means that it mainly operates in India. But beyond that, madam, there are many records that he has extensively traveled to China, Japan, Vietnam.
And even Anagarika Dharmapala spoke on Buddhism as a religion in the Parliament of Religions at Chicago, which was attended by Swami Vivekananda.
Yes.
And
but not to talk about them much in detail because it is not mine. Okay, ma'am. So let's open for the Q&A.
Yes, and it would be very helpful for us if you can send your PPTs to me by mail so that I can also distribute them to the students.
I will.
Okay. তোমাদের যদি আর কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে বা কোনো জায়গা তোমাদের যদি বুঝতে অসুবিধা হয় তোমরা জিজ্ঞেস করতে পারো। You can ask in English, and if you have any trouble then you can speak in Bengali and I will translate it into English. Hello.